Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battle Talk. There's my logo. I am Don Battlehawk, and this segment is brought to you by Section 140 at the Dome. And we've got some exciting times coming. I'm going to have shows about stuff this week, and I don't know exactly how it's all going to break down. I mean, what a busy weekend. Friday night football. I've been working nonstop to try to make up for not working on the holiday. And all of the games, I watched either all or part or the highlights and listened to all of the games. It's been crazy. And I was like, what am I going to do a show on today? I don't want to not do a show today. So what I decided to do is just talk to you about the teams. All right, so you're going to have Louisville coming into St. Louis, right? St. Louis is the number 2 seed. So they're going to come in to St. Louis, and they're going to play. Louisville, the way they've been playing, looks like they're probably the better team than St. Louis on paper, the way they've been playing recently. So that's going to be interesting because St. Louis still has a killer defense and an offense that can execute at times. And then you've got DC at Orlando, where it'll be played in Columbus. And, DC has not been jiving, but Columbus has been on the uptick since their losses. So, but watching the game between the two, I don't see how DC is eliminated from this. They're very much a potential to win the playoff game. Remember what happened. St. Louis beat the Brahmas 3 times, I think, one season. Or 2 times one season and lost the 3rd time in the playoffs. And they had pretty much seemed to have dominated the Brahmas before that. So, I mean, it's just... nothing is set in stone. Now, what do I think about the league putting the playoff game in Columbus? Well, I mean, if DC was available, it should have just gone to DC instead of gone to a neutral site. I understand why we want them to be played in a neutral site, and I used to believe that, but I don't know if enough Columbus fans are going to show up to that game. How many Orlando fans are going to be able to get there, and DC fans, where at least you would have maybe some DC fans at that game? And that brings me to the United Bowl. Where should it be played? I mean, I've enjoyed it being played here in St. Louis because that means I get to go. But, I mean, that's not always the best thing for the league, just me getting to go. And I've come to this realization, or at least thought process. I think that the United Bowl should be played in the number 1 team's stadium. If that stadium is not available, then the number 2 team's stadium. But how do you sell advance tickets to that? Unless you do it like you're doing it with the playoffs. I signed up for my Battlehawks tickets for the playoff game this coming weekend a couple weeks ago. So you have all of the local people sign up for their venue if their team might make the game, and then you go from there, and then you only charge them if they get it. And then the number 2 team, it would default to their stadium if the number 1 team stadium wasn't available. And then after that, you go to another one of your markets. But yeah, we'll talk more about stuff. I want to do at least one player profile for the Battlehawks this week. And I do want to talk about do a breakdown of Battlehawks versus Kings, because I wasn't doing that kind of breakdown really the last time that they played each other. And I'm probably going to do a DC versus Storm breakdown, even though I don't do other teams' breakdowns, but it is the playoffs. So that's what today's Battle Talk is about. Just me musing and talking. We'll have something else tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching and following me on X and YouTube. I'll see you later.